Have you not listened to your elders, my friend?
I've listened to the elder, but I don't listen to.
Okay, you have.
Welcome to Right Between the Eyes podcast, a KISS podcast with 3 generations of KISS fans telling you why we love it loud. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Right Between the Eyes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Myers, and this is a unboxing and a fan project. Shouldn't even say unboxing. It's already unboxed, but we're going to take a look at the 25th anniversary Psycho Circus that just was released this week. I got my copy on Thursday. We'll take a look at the record. And then a KISS fan project spearheaded by KISS Army Things that I instantly jumped on to help celebrate these last 36 KISS shows around the U.S. and then in a couple other countries. There's only actually 4 countries left that KISS are going to be playing at. More on that in just a second. I wanted Xander and I from KISS Army Things. We're talking about this KISS fan project, and I thought I want to have some type of video to kind of get into it. And I thought, well, Psycho Circus has just come out on vinyl for the 25th anniversary, so that would be a good way to have a thing to kind of show and tell. And I'm getting ready to film another thing for another podcast, which has to do with some of the stuff that's in the background and in view. More on that on KISS Army Nation. You have to watch that podcast. But before we get all of that, let's take a look at the 25th anniversary of Psycho Circus. Now, this went up about a week ago on KOL and sold out very quickly. I think they had put it up on Saturday with some more that they had gotten in, but that again went really quickly. There was a picture disc version, which for the first time since doing picture discs on KISS Online, it was actually a little bit more affordable to do a picture disc. Some of them were $200 in the past. I kind of didn't... I thought about it for Lick It Up, and I really kind of thought about it for Psycho Circus, but I thought, no, just having the, what I would call the standard, version of the special record would be good enough for me, and it was more in the price range to be able to do both albums. And I've been constantly buying a special version of most of the releases. I didn't do Love Gun. I really should have jumped on that one when I had the opportunity, but most of them I have received their anniversary versions of. So everything's basically pretty much the same here. There's the sticker there. Now, normally what I do, because I sleeve mine, I put them in a protective record sleeve as well, and I always peel off the hype sticker that's on it, and then I adhere it to the new plastic sleeve protector that I put them in. This one, for whatever reason, either they changed the brand or the style of sticker that they were using, the hype sticker, so it was making it harder to tear off. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to cut around the original cellophane, and then I just dropped it in here. But there is what it says. So there's the hype sticker. I would get it closer to the camera, but it tends to want to get my frame out of focus. So it says 25th anniversary silver metallic vinyl edition, limited to 2,500 units worldwide. So both of these were up in the 2,500. Some people would say they were around 500 a piece, and it was nice to know that they made more of them readily available than they had in previous versions. And I think this is the first time that they started labeling how many versions or how many they were issuing. So everything's pretty much basic as far as you've got your front sleeve, so there's the hype stickers in the bag. The back is very much the same, although the new barcode is not the original from the 2014, and then the writing down here. No gatefold, nothing, no. I was really kind of surprised that they didn't do the hologram cover, lenticular. Maybe that was just something they just didn't want to put that much money into. And then the inner sleeve, I feel they could have done just a tad bit better. Again, this is the standard version, so I get it. You're probably getting a little bit more goodies in the picture disc version. So you have all the lyrics and then the front cover. I would have done a band photo that maybe appears on the picture disc and throw that on here, but they didn't. Just a recreation of the front cover. And then the thing that people are talking about is the silver. It looks like it's warped, and I've got the Revenge one here for reference. You can kind of see if this shows, but you can see it's almost 3D textured as I hit the camera. In the right light, you can see the ripples. I think that's kind of cool. And if you can see it in the light just right, you can almost see the ripples. Well, that's actually on this side because I'm backwards. The ripples that are kind of going down. If I get it back here. If you would hold it up into the light like Rick likes to, it almost looks like it's a little white. And there is some black marbling. I have 2 specks right in here. So it's silver, but it's not as silver as Revenge is. Now, Nick on our show thought this probably should have been some like orange, whether it's translucent. We've had some translucent issues for anniversaries and just different things that Kiss has done. Some type of a color, I think, would have been kind of cool. But it's the silver anniversary, the 25th anniversary. I get why they went with silver. But the fact that it's not just plain silver, since they kind of did something like that with Revenge, and I'll show that here in just a minute. But for some reason, side 2, I think the rippling looks a little bit better. So it looks like one of those typography type maps where you can see mountains and valleys and, you know, the ocean floor type of thing. It's really kind of cool. I saw some people online, shocker, kind of go, well, it looks kind of dumb, stupid. And don't buy it. I think it looks kind of cool. They didn't have to do this. I was sad that they didn't do the 30th anniversary, the 35th for Crazy Nights up there. So it must be something like 25, 30, 45, 50th. I think those are the type of anniversaries so far that they've hit. Now, I'll pull the Revenge one out here. I can put that away in a little bit. So here's the Revenge. And I was surprised that last year they were doing this foil embossed kind of shiny cover. So even through my sleeve protector, you can see that it's really kind of shiny. That would have been really cool if they weren't going to do the hologram on Psycho Circus, to at least give it the foil treatment. I think that would have been really cool. So I'll pull the Revenge record out here. And this is more of a metallic. Some people were saying it's the exact same as Revenge. No, actually it's not. So you could tell if I hadn't just buried it, I could show you a little bit better side by side. But it's hard to hold 2 records, but I think you could just go back in the frame. So this is more of a gray, a gunmetal gray, and the silver little like glitter, if you will, is inside of this. So the 2 releases are, I would say, very different just in their color scheme. So I like the fact that they didn't do like a 30th anniversary cover or color for Revenge. They went more with, hey, this is what a color scheme of Revenge is, with like a rivet or, you know, part of a machine or a war machine, if you will. So I wanted to be able to show that off. We have not reviewed Psycho Circus on our podcast yet. This is a favorite of all 3 of ours, Nick, Nico, and myself. We all have strong feelings about this album. And this is a little spoiler for you guys at home watching. If you're watching the YouTube version, we're getting ready to record an audio version of the podcast. The plan is to do Creatures of the Night. I almost want to throw a curveball at Nick and Nico and go, we've been trying to get the 30th anniversary of Revenge, of Creatures of the Night done. We've done the whole box set at the beginning of the year. It would be technically the 41st anniversary of Creatures of the Night. But I'm almost going to suggest them this. Do you want to finish Creatures of the Night, or do you want to do Psycho Circus instead? And we've done most of the Creatures of the Night. We just haven't done the actual album yet. So maybe we will be right close to the tail end of the bandwagon to talk about the 25th anniversary of this album. So I wanted to be able to show the vinyl. What did you guys get either from Lick It Up or from Psycho Circus on this round? And I don't know how many more albums we're going to get this year from KOL with the potential of the selling of the brand. So that's something we've talked about on our show, many other shows, Kiss Army things, In My Head, It's All For You, Demon, down the line. Shout It Out Loudcast. Many shows have been talking about the selling of the brand, that only colored versions or special colored editions of the albums will be coming out this year. And potentially an off the soundboard. We don't know if we're going to get the potentially last off the soundboard before this acquisition takes place. We don't know. So the last thing here, and I think that is I would say the most important. You can go to Kiss Army Things last episode and take a look at their most recent. That Xander and his wife Daphne had this really cool idea, and Xander and I have been spitballing back and forth about trying to make these last shows really something special. Not that every show hasn't, but I feel like in the Kiss community there's a little disconnect from the band at sometimes. I know a lot of us will complain about the set list and why aren't they doing that? The End of the Road tour, as long as it's been going on, people are saying it's the same. Things have been changing. It may not be drastic set list changes, but if you go look at the set list from the beginning of the tour until most recently, there are songs that are missing or been replaced or taken out, different lighting effects. Some things have changed. Eric's drum kit has changed consistently through the tour. We're going to get yet another kit probably when they hit the U.S. Having spoke to Billy Baker, I'm sworn under secrecy. I know what the last kit is. I haven't seen the pictures of it, but he has told me. I think we're all going to be very pleased and surprised with Eric's final kit. And I think all the members are going to have corresponding instruments that coincide all together. And going back to this album, and a track that all three of us really enjoy is We Are One. A lot of us are going to be seeing Kiss for the very last time, and if you've been watching our show, we've been doing the Road to Rosemont series. Excuse me. A lot of us have been talking about the camaraderie that we're having, that we're all going to be going to this show, and how cool it is to be able, at least for the group of us, to all be in one room together, to have a meetup with a bunch of people that we're meeting just for the first time. Maybe some of you out there are going to Rosemont, or you're going to the Indianapolis show, maybe where Xander, Jeb and Daphne, about got those two names all mixed up, or other podcasts that you've been watching, or other Kiss fans that you've been watching, are going to be at the same place at the same time, all seeing our last Kiss shows in this type of a setting. My wife's like, they'll still play. I could see that them playing one-off shows here or there, or here is a Vegas residency, or here is a one-off show wherever. But the band has been saying, this is it. This is the end of the Kiss touring cycle. And knowing that we're down, by the time that I'm filming this, we are at 38 shows left. 38 shows. It is October, November, December. 3 months. We have 3 months of Kiss as a touring entity. And I'm telling you, when it's over, it's going to be over. And I think it's going to hit some of us a lot harder. And I know there's cynics out there. They're going to be like, fine, they should have been done in 2000, blah, blah, blah. There's a legion of the Kiss Army that would have never discovered Kiss had they stopped in 2000. That is Kiss Army things to a T. Their first concert was 2003. Granted, I got to see Kiss in 1992 at Toledo Savage Hall on the Revenge Tour, November 22nd, 1992. I'm telling you, I am seeing my last Kiss show in Rosemont, November 27th, 2023. My first Kiss show was November 22nd. Those dates are so close. The same month that I saw Kiss, I will be ending my time seeing the band. You can't write a better story poetically for me. And I'm seeing it with two of my dearest friends that we're friends in the sense that I have not been able to shake their hands, but we've been doing this show, Nick and Nico. that I'm going to be sitting next to those two individuals, and I'll be able to shake their hand, give them a bro hug. We'll probably shed some tears at this show. We want to make this as special as we possibly can, not only for us, but for all Kiss fans, as a big thank you to Kiss for everything that they've done for us. I don't care what your situation in life has been. As you know, for this podcast, we had some health issues in this family that slowed our podcast down. And something that pulls us through, my wife and I, is listening to music. Our wedding song is from the album right back there, Hot in the Shade, Forever. That was our wedding song. We walked out of the church to Paul Stanley singing Forever. Music means something to everyone. So Daphne and Xander have this really cool idea of making the show more interactive, not only for us, but for the band too. So they saw it at a Greta Van Fleet show recently, where by taking a mere piece of cardboard and turning on your camera light and holding up the cardboard to the camera light, let's see if I can do it here while we're talking. Or, Rob, you can just turn on your camera. This will be fun to edit out. Will shine a blue light. Now, the opacity, if I'm even saying that word, the brightness, there we go, from the camera light to this camera is showing a white light, but from far enough back where the cameras aren't fighting with one another, this is a blue light. It is definitely blue. And to be able to have there, you can definitely see it blinding it out there. To have a blue piece of construction paper, a red piece of construction paper, purple, you can see where I'm going with this, and red and green, the four primary colors of Kiss, at a certain moment in the show, to be able to shine your favorite Kiss member color up with your cell phone, to be able to hold it. Now, Daphne and Xander, they had little pieces of construction paper to be holding up, and I just found this in my wife's scrapbook, scrap pieces of paper. And you go to Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and buy a ream of scrapbook paper, multicolored, very, very cheap, and then cut them into strips. I'm finding it's a lot better to have it longer, so you can actually hold your phone aloft into the air. So we know everybody's going to pull out their cell phones during Beth, and we don't have lighters anymore. So can you imagine if we all pulled out our cell phones, turned our camera light on, and had a green piece of construction paper there, and just saw a sea of green cell phone camera lights? What would Eric think looking out and seeing all that? What would the band think during Paul Stanley doing Black Diamond, where he's doing his acoustic, or his intro, and the purple stage lights are hitting down, and you bring up your purple construction paper? Or during the show, if multiple Kiss colors were out there, when Gene is doing his bloodbath, you pull up your red construction paper and turn your camera light on. What would Gene see out there? Would the demon get a little choked up? That is instant fan interaction. So we're calling this the Kiss Spotlight. Project Kiss Spotlight. Real cheap, real easy, fan-oriented to do. The fan base of Greta Van Fleet did this on their own, got together with some of their Facebook groups, Twitter groups, what have you, and we're just handing out pieces of construction paper in little baggies. Your section 102 is going to be green, and your section is going to be orange, or whatever. Could you imagine in your arena, if you're in Rosemont with us, or if you're in Indianapolis with Kiss Army Things, or whoever, if you're in New York at the final two shows, and you look around and the entire arena is all red with the cell phone lights, or the multi-Kiss colors of the primary Kiss colors, I think that would be so cool, so interactive. Something else that I am planning on doing, I just got to make sure to check with the chief on this one, but I found, and Xander did too, found a company that's really inexpensive to make little tiny buttons. So if you're at the Rosemont show, you can meet myself, Jeb, Xander, Brant, each of our shows collect them all, a little tiny podcast button for each of our podcasts to help celebrate this KISS community, celebrate all of our podcasts, and a way to interact with the fans and have this moment together that we are one. We are all in the same place, and we are all celebrating this band, celebrating their 50 years, and that, you know, how many times we've sat in a show by other people that we don't know, just that simple little gesture of like, hey, what's your favorite KISS song, or what's your such and such, or whatever. I think that would be cool to kind of embrace this, take this beyond the stage, take this beyond the podcasting, and really make this an event for everyone. So that is our project, the KISS Spotlight. We'll be talking more about this on the road to Rosemont and then on all of our various podcast channels. So let us know down in the comments what you think of this idea of the KISS Spotlight. And I know there's some people like, I'm not going to hold a piece of construction paper. That's fine. That's cool. But I think if you're watching this show and you're like, hey, I'm going to be at Rosemont, and you don't see a green beacon or a red beacon, you're going to go, oh man, we were talking about that. A good chunk of us are going to be at the sound check for Rosemont. We'll be handing out a bunch of stuff like this, and maybe even at various entrances. If you want to participate, chime in down in the comments. Or if you're going to another show, start your own campaign. Let's get the KISS Army involved in this one last time and really make this an event that how cool would it be for you to look around the arena and go, wow, look at all of the colors that are out here. Look at all of the fans that are wishing farewell to their favorite band. That's where we're going to end this episode. Make sure you check out all the various podcasts in our Road to Rosemont. I'm going to put their links down here below, and give some special love to Xander and Daphne and Jeb over at KISS Army Things. This is their idea for the KISS Spotlight, and I think it's a fantastic one. And then watch out for announcements of all of our collector's buttons that are going to be around. And who knows, maybe if you're buying a hot dog, you might see a little button sitting somewhere from one of our podcasts. On the behalf of Nick and Nico, I am Rob, and you've been watching Right Between the Eyes podcast, a podcast with 3 generations of KISS fans telling you why we love it loud. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.